In this tutorial, we are going to practice making some boxes for your classroom. And this could be an exit slip, it can be an introduction slip, something that you have the kids fill out. Students always enjoy this assignment or activity. So currently's, if you go to Pinterest or Google and you type in currently's, they're all the rage right now. And basically what it is it's a sheet of paper, or it's something, can be a full sheet. Here I've got little ones that currently, what are you happy about? What are you learning? What are you listening to? What are you feeling? What are you planning? What are you loving? You could have, what are you reading? What's frustrating you? But it's quick, short little things that you do at the spur of the moment to keep on track. And you give these to students. And I do this quite a bit with my students. I give them to them just to see where they're at. Currently confused. Currently, think of all the different words that you can come up with. And maybe in your discussion form or in your group, you want to talk about all the different words that you could put on a currently, because ultimately you will create a currently. So here I've got my two currentlys, and all these is a box and another box with that has a triangle within it. So I've kind of split this to create it, and then I've got my words here. This is a line. This is a text box. Then what I do is I click on my top one, I hold my shift key down, doesn't matter whether you're on a Mac or a Windows, and I start clicking. And I click all of them. Notice all these dots I'm getting? And then keep your mouse somewhere up on one of the lines, right click and group. And right now this is group, so I could ungroup it, and then I would group this. The nice thing about this then is I can decide to move this over here, and everything's going to go with it. So grouping is a really important skill to be able to have. Then the next thing that I do is, if I'm making a double, going to fill this whole sheet with currentlys, I'm going to click on it. Now that it's grouped, I only need to click on the outside, and I'm going to copy it. So on a Mac, it's Command C. On a Windows, it's Control C, or you can right click, or you can click and go up to Edit Copy, and then you're going to paste. And on a Mac, it's Command V as in Victor. On a Windows, it's Control V. And I'm going to put this down here. So now I have two. So what I might want to do with these two is click on one, hold down my shift key. I have them both selected. But before I group them, notice they're not really aligned very well. And if I'm going to slice and dice these on a paper cutter, I want them aligned. So I'm going to go up to Arrange, Align, or Distribute. And this shows you pictures. Now I still always do it wrong, so I'll do it wrong on purpose. That is wrong. So on a Mac, Command Z is undo, or Control Z on a Windows. Z as in zebra. So I'm going to go back up to Arrange, Align. I'm going to align the left. Notice how that one moved. I'm also going to go back and I'm going to, I was going to distribute, but it looks like it must be distributed. So now I'm going to hold my shift key down, and I'm going to select both of them again, and I am going to group. And I'm going to copy and paste. And then I can move them over, copy and paste again. And now maybe I want to hold my shift key down and select all three columns, and I want to align or distribute them again. So maybe I want to align the middles because I want the least amount of work as possible, and I want to distribute horizontally. So they're all equally spaced. Now I've got a quick currently sheet that I can slice and dice, and as students come into my classroom, I can find out what kind of mood they're in, what they're doing, what they're thinking about. I can create my exit slips this way. Here's an example of some strategy cards that I have used. I bought these off of Teachers Pay Teachers. Let's see if I can rotate this. So she's created boxes with arrows, and she has them fill out what their questions are before, during, as they're inferring. So it's all the different strategies determining importance. I'll try to rotate this one. Clockwise. So she's printed these out. Students put Post-it notes on them. In order to put a Post-it note on this, where you could print it out and the Post-it note would actually fit, all you need to do is resize. Make your box the size of a Post-it note. And if you remember how to do that, it's your rectangle and your square. Double click, look at the height. So go and measure a Post-it note and make it that size. If your Post-it note's 3 by 3, there's your Post-it note size. That's the size box you need. So the other thing that you'll notice that she did on this one, which it went back, are these arrows. So she's created a box and she's put an arrow on, and I could do that with my currently. So let's say I went home to my home page and I got an arrow. If I wanted to, I could arrow this to this one. Maybe this is Monday through Friday and I have 5, and then an end of the week overview for them to turn in. And no fill, maybe I want my line to be red. There I go. And so you can do lots of different things, but that align and group are very important, and there's something that you should practice and make sure that you understand. So now I could hold my shift key down, select all 3, get to a line, right click, and I could group all of them. Or I could go up to arrange and I could group them here too. So now I have one whole sheet. The whole thing moves, which is kind of nice in some things when you're doing some things. Or the other thing you can do, so if I take a new slide, make it blank, I might want to make just something visually appealing at the top. So maybe I'm going to copy and paste, hold my shift key down because I'm going to do as least amount of steps as I can. Bring this one in a little, bring that one out a little. Double click on this one. Maybe this one I want to be green. This one I want to be orange. This one I want to be blue. This one I want to be purple. And then I'm going to select all of these. And notice I have a shadow. So I'm going to go to my Format, Effect, Shadow. I can do it with them all highlighted and say no shadow. There, my shadow is gone. And no line. Because maybe I want to take that line or that rectangle tool and make a really thick line. So no fill, but I'm going to do a black line and I'm going to make it thick. Now I can hold my shift key down, select all of these, right click, grouping, and group. Now I could have this as my header on one certain unit if that's what I wanted. And I can move it around, and I could copy that, go home, do a new slide, and paste it in. And I could keep going. And you did notice, I think I pointed it out in my George Washington socks unit, that one of these for my unit was the teacher part, and if there was two, it was the student part, or vice versa. I don't remember. But that grouping, that arranging is really a good tool to have. So practice using that, and until next time.